Victor Gyokeres has rejected Man United. I'm not panicking. I'm not moved. I am not moved. According to Record Portugal, which is a big Portuguese news outlet, similar to Daily Mail, all of that, they said that Gyokeres has rejected Man United. The players' entourage have officially informed United that they are no longer an option for the Swede. And it's like the Sun, it's like the Daily Mail, it's like all of these guys. You can't take these guys for gospel, but they're still obviously a news outlet, so you can't just say they're lying as well. So you basically just have to take it with a pinch of salt. And just right now, it's just all talks. This is a transfer saga, especially with Man United, with Arsenal and Man United being involved in this. Right now, it's just talk. Arsenal are just in talks. Man United are in talks. There's nothing concrete even happened yet, and especially Arsenal has Sesko as their number one target, but they haven't even made an official bid for Sesko, and there's but at the same time they're still in the running for Gyokeres. So right now it's just yapping. It's just yappa, and all the drama with Gyokeres having the agreement with the sporting president, like a gentleman's agreement to leave the club for 59 million euros as a favor for not leaving last summer. But apparently that's not true because and then the sporting president say, nah, we didn't make a gentleman's agreement. I'm gonna price you out, basically, well, allegedly. And then apparently, according to Gyokeres' agents, that's not even true, and they have the agreement in writing. So maybe it's not a gentleman's agreement. Maybe it is in writing. I don't know. This is what a transfer saga is. It's just a saga. It gets messy. Everyone's chatting shit about anyone. It's just basically the news outlets, they're having a field day. They love all of this. They don't care what's true. They don't care if it's concrete or if it happens. They don't even care if anyone gets the signature. If it's all just yappa, if it's all just talk, all just drama, they eat it up. They want it to drag. They'd rather the deal doesn't happen and this saga drags for the next 3 transfer windows. That's how the news outlets like to have it. So that's why I take it as gospel. I don't entirely believe it, but I don't not believe it at the same time. I'm just staying neutral. But yeah, this is just a transfer saga basically. It's just but at the same time as it being a transfer saga, it's a chess game. This won't get sorted until late in the window, and he won't. And in my opinion, he won't even have a preseason. It's gonna be one of those ones. Like it's gonna be that late, and the fact, and you've seen him on. I've seen it so many times with these sagas all the time. The player gets pissed off with the club for pricing him out, for not for taking a in his eyes for taking a piss. It's basically the Victor Osimhen situation from last summer with Napoli. Then they go on social media, they take off on their bio that they're this player. In Victor Gyokeres' situation, he took off the fact that he's a sporting player. He took off that he was a Nike athlete and Swedish national team. What is he retiring from national team, or is he changed nationalities and he's not Swedish anymore? I don't know I don't know why he took off the last two. It didn't make sense, but he did it anyway. Like, what the hell did Sweden and Nike do to him? But yeah, it's just that typical transfer saga, and the player just going on silent, going crazy on social media. It's the typical stuff, man. Especially in the social media age. This is like, it's copy and paste. They do this all the time. The players do. It's the same copy and paste storyline, but it still doesn't make it any less interesting. It's still interested, but the fact that it's involved in my club, it just stresses me the hell out more than it interests me, more than it entertains me. But my question is that after all this with this drama going on, my question is, does Ineos know what they're doing? Are they playing this the right way, or are they getting into deep in this saga, into the deep into this battle, and at the end, would they end up just getting no one because they had too much focus on Gyokeres? I don't know, But honestly speaking, the one thing I do know is that they can't put all their eggs in one basket. They have to have other strikers in mind and get to work in potentially signing an alternative and just having talks at least. Like Jonathan David, he's a free agent. He's still around. He's bagged a lot of goals for for I forgot his team now. Lille, and he's a free agent. Like, come on, man. Like, go for someone like it. I know there isn't reports. Maybe they're doing it in silent, like Chelsea. Chelsea, when it was Abramovich era, you heard nothing, and then they've done some dealings in silent. Or you had one little, some rumors and stuff, but it's a smokescreen for something else, and out of nowhere they signed someone. But I hope that that's the case. But there's like players like Jonathan David, who's a free agent. Osman's still around, even though he's on high wages. I'm not saying definitely go for him. This is just me naming options, just naming options, and maybe going a different way around it. Osman, he's still around, even though he's got high wage demands. But we can offload players and afford his wages, especially when we don't have European football. We just have FA Cup, we just have Carabao Cup, and we just have the Premier League. We don't need that deep of a squad. We can afford to offload dead weight and not entirely replace them completely. Other than striker and goalkeeper, we don't really need to. We just need to add a midfielder as well. Defense, we don't even need to add on any players. Mostly, we just need to offload, and then we can afford his. Then we can afford his wages, but he wouldn't be my first choice. I still try and go for him, but like the way he's moving, like I don't know what I don't know what he's thinking. He's hard to predict, and it doesn't look like he's budging from that 196 million a week wages. But there's other options. United have jumped into the Ekitike race, even though I don't think we will get him. His value is bumped unless they bump it down to 60 million. 60 million, but that 100 million is way too high. Or maybe United can sort out a swap deal, like I don't know, send over Garnacho or Hoyland. We got players that we can try and leverage and use them as swap deals. I don't know why we're not doing that. And maybe do a dealing like that with Frankfurt. We could still go for Mateta and try and convince him of this project and pull him away from European football. With Crystal Palace, he's another option. Might be difficult. It will be difficult because of Crystal Palace being in European competition, but they also might get kicked out of Europa League, which I think is BS. And people online saying, "Oh, they should have been prepared." Mate, the deadline was in March. You think Crystal Palace knew they were predicted they were going to be in the FA Cup final? You really think that? I forgot what owner who has minority shares as well, which is crazy. Minority shares will sell his shares just to guess if the team is going to be in Europe. Hell no, and then lose the bag. That doesn't work like that, mate. But anyways, moving on with strikers. Another option is Serhou Guirassy. Who's had a good season with Dortmund, but he's not on the radar for anyone. No one's talking about him. I've searched everywhere. His name's not been named anywhere. Even though last summer, his name's been thrown around everywhere, and then he surprisingly went to Dortmund out of all places. And I believe he's quite affordable as well. He's 29 years old, so he's almost 30. But he's dragged a struggling Borussia Dortmund to Champions League qualification. I haven't even been watching Bundesliga like that. And then I see they've qualified and he's just dragged them along. He scored 34 goals for Dortmund in all competitions, 21 goals in the Bundesliga. And according to Transfermarkt, he's valued around 45 million euros, which is around 38 million pound. Again, by the way, it's Transfermarkt, so it's not like an actual valuation, because Dortmund can change. They can pick and basically the club can pick and choose how much they value. They can value him at 200 million. They can do it, and no one can complain about it. But that's one option. Another option: Aston Villa are open to sell Ollie Watkins because of PSR reasons. They over recruited last season. because they thought they will be in the Champions League again for next season, and now but they've missed out on Champions League football, so they need to recoup some money and sell off some other players. They've sold off John Duran in January. Speaking of John Duran, there have been recent reports of John Duran being put on the loan list at Al Nassr, not because of bad performances, but because of personal reasons. And the personal reasons is because of his girlfriend and the fact that you can't have an unmarried partner with you in living in Saudi. And most players and coaches, they live in Bahrain, but apparently the reports haven't been clear, but apparently they just won't let him stay in Bahrain with his girlfriend and live there at the club. So that is causing some issues, and he's basically just pissed off basically. But his performances have been good. He's only been there since January. 6 months he's only played there, and since he joined in January, he's scored 12 goals for them. And all we saw, and we all saw what he did for Aston Villa before, at the first half of the Premier League season. The kid is a bagsman. But worst case scenario, if we don't even get a striker, and we might have to settle with Xerxes up front as our starting striker and use him. And then use him, Cunha and Mbeumo, and use them as similar to Firmino, Salah and Mane situations. That style of attack where because Cunha and Mbeumo, they're GA machines. They can score, they can assist. And Xerxes is excellent. He's excellent at holding the ball and linking up play with the wingers. And especially when they're not really wingers, they're two number 10s that will go out wide at times. But mainly we got the width of the wing backs. But because they're a bit narrower, they're closer to Xerxes, so the link up play will be even better, even more potent. And yeah, just doing that style of play for now. If worst case scenario, we don't actually get an out and out striker. And if that's the case, I still don't want Højlund to be around at United. Seriously, we just need to get him out. Inter are interested, and we can make some money off of him. 40 million, around 35 million, and relieve a lot of wages off him because he's so expensive. But all in all, what I'm trying to say is we can't be fighting so hard for Gyokeres. Our whole focus can't be on Gyokeres. It's crazy if it is. We need to focus on other players. There's other alternatives. There's plenty of alternatives, and people are not focusing on that. Other teams are not even focusing on that. Maybe we need to turn our heads on those type of players, and hopefully they are doing the Chelsea method, the Abramovich method of working in silence and no one noticing that they're actually talking to these alternative players, and then out of nowhere we get a deal. Then fair enough, I put my hands up and be like, congrats, Ineos, you're actually doing something, and I'm actually really happy with the way you're moving. But right now, as I can see right now, clearly black and white, still go for Gyokeres, but we need other options. But anyways, let me know in the comments what you think. Do you think we should go hard on Gyokeres, or do you think we should be looking at other options? And what other options do you think we should be looking at? Any other options outside of the list that I've listed? Let me know. But like, subscribe, comment, and share the video, and peace.